Assalamu alaikum. This is Sharup Mujumdar welcoming you all to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. NCC holds meeting with political parties discussing issues regarding July National Charter signing ceremony. Fire in Mirpur chemical warehouse under control partially. 10 of 16 people killed in fire identified. Prosecution prevents evidence on fourth day of arguments in case of crimes against humanity by Sheikh Hasina and two others during July uprising. Counting of votes underway after end of voting in Chaksu election. HSC and equivalent examinations 2025 results to be published tomorrow. And Israeli soldiers shoot 9 Palestinians dead despite ceasefire in Gaza. Spain wants Tel Aviv to be tried for Gaza massacre. Those are the headlines. Now moving on to the details. An urgent meeting of the National Consensus Commission was held with different political and alliance regarding the overall preparations and other matters for the July National Charter 2025 signing ceremony. Chief Advisor Professor Dr. Muhammad Yunus was present in the meeting as the chairman of the commission. The meeting held at the Foreign Service Academy this evening. Earlier in the afternoon, a meeting of the National Consensus Commission was held at the State Guest House Jamuna under the chairmanship of the Chief Advisor. The signing of the July National Charter 2025 will take place on 17th of October at the South Plaza of the National Parliament building.
নির্বাচনের কথা এসছে আবারও বলছি বারে বলছি যত জায়গায় গেছে এই যে সম্মেলন করলাম সেখানে বলে এসেছি ফেব্রুয়ারি মাসে নির্বাচন হবেই ঐকমত্য কমিশনের যে সনদ এটা সনদেরই অংশ এখন এটার সঙ্গে এটা জড়িত এটা এই যে আমরা ঘোষণা করলাম সেই ঘোষণাকে আমাদের রক্ষা করতে হবে এটা এমন না যে কথার কথা বলে ফেলেছি আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে 2 দিন পরে হলে কি হয় ওরকম না এটা ফেব্রুয়ারিতে হবে এবং ওই যে বারে বলেছে এটা উৎসবমুখর নির্বাচন হবে সেই উৎসবমুখর নির্বাচনের জন্য যা যা করতে হয় সবটা আমরা করবো আমাদের সাধ্যে যতগুলো এটার সঙ্গে আমরা কোনো কম্প্রোমাইজ করবো না যে আমাদের কাজ হলো দায়িত্ব হলো আপনারা যেরকম সবাই মিলে এই সনদ তৈরি করেছেন আমাদের সরকারের দায়িত্ব হলো সবাই মিলে উৎসবমুখ নির্বাচনটা করে দেওয়া তাহলে আমাদের কাজ একটা পরিণতিতে আসলো তা না হলে তো পরিণত হলো না আমরা সুন্দর একটা সনদ করলেন আমরা গিয়ে বন্ডল করে একটা নির্বাচন করলাম এই নির্বাচন তো কোনো দরকার নেই আমাদের কাজে নির্বাচনটাও যেন একটা সঙ্গে জুৎসই হয় লাক্সই হয় যে এটা মনে করে যে এটা স্বয়ং সম্পূর্ণ একটা জিনিস এটার সঙ্গে এটা বিচ্ছিন্ন কোনো ঘটনা না এটা সনদ এক জিনিস নির্বাচন আর জিনিস ওরকম যেন না হয় আগামী শুক্রবারে আমরা সেই আশাকে সারা জাতির সামনে নিয়ে আসবো এই আজকে যে আশাগুলো আপনারা যে বক্তব্যের মাধ্যমে প্রকাশ করলেন সেটা সারা জাতির মধ্যে ছড়িয়ে দিতে হবে সেই জন্যই অনুষ্ঠানটা করা সব জাতির সামনে আপনাদের কষ্টটা যেন তারা জানে এর ভেতরে কী আছে তারা যেন মনে রাখে কেন এটা শুধু গুটিগত রাজনীতি না তার বিষয় না এটা সারা জাতির বিষয় জাতির মধ্যে এটা সঞ্চারিত করে দেওয়ার জন্যই আমাদের এই অনুষ্ঠানটা করা সেখানে আমরা উৎসবমুখরভাবে সেখানে যাব এবং এই দলিলে সই করব এবং উৎসব করব সবাই সারা জাতি এটা শরীক হবে
Rescue operations continue for the second consecutive day following the devastating fire at a warehouse and garment factory in Shialbari, Mirpur. According to the fire service and civil defense, the death toll from the incident has risen to 16. Qazi Nazmuzzaman, Assistant Director of the Dhaka Region Fire Service, stated that the fire in the garment factory is now fully under control. However, thick white smoke is still billowing from the adjacent chemical warehouse, posing a serious health hazard. He added that firefighters wearing chemical safety suits have managed to unlock the main gate of the factory, but the rescue operation is taking time due to necessary safety precautions. Meanwhile, Sharmin S. Murshid, advisor on women and children affairs, visited the site at noon. She said that necessary policy changes would be made, if required, to prevent such tragedies in the future. In Dhaka Medical College Hospital, Brigadier General Mohammad Asaduzzaman, the hospital's director, said that 16 bodies had been recovered, including 9 men and 7 women. He noted that the bodies were severely burnt and deformed, making identification extremely difficult and impossible. So far, relatives have claimed to identify 10 victims, but the administration and police are verifying the claims before handing over the bodies. The fourth day of arguments has concluded in the case of crimes against humanity filed against ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and 2 others during the July uprising. The arguments were presented today before International Crimes Tribunal 1, headed by Justice Ghulam Murtuja Mujumdar, with Chief Prosecutor Tazul Islam representing the state. During the session, based on the statements of 54 witnesses, the prosecution presented information on 5 separate charges. The proceedings were broadcast live on Btv News and the prosecution's official Facebook page. Meanwhile, the tribunal has directed that the investigation into the killings committed across the country during the July uprising, in which Awami League leaders Ubaidul Qadir, Anisul Haq, Amir Hussain Amu, Dipu Moni, Salman F. Rahman, Hassanul Haq Inu, Rashid Khan Menon and Junaid Ahmed Palok, among others, are accused, should be completed by December 8th. Among the accused in this case, 17 are in custody while the rest remain fugitives. Separately, in Tribunal 2, the 11th day of witness testimony continued today in Ashulia case involving the burning of 6 bodies during the July uprising. In addition, the tribunal has issued warrants against the former MP of Chattogram 6, ABM Fazle Karim Chaudhary, in a case over the killing of 3, including Chhatrodal leader Wasim Akram and former Chattogram Metropolitan Police Commissioner Muhammad Saiful Islam in another case. Earlier in the day, 25 accused persons were produced before the tribunal for these ongoing cases. The second day of the final round of Bangladesh Television's popular talent hunt show Notun Kuri is being held today and will continue until October 21st. The final round is taking place at the Bangladesh Television headquarters in Rampura, Dhaka. In this phase, 5 contestants from each category who secured the highest scores in the divisional selection round are participating. The selected participants have been informed of their audition date and time via SMS on their registered mobile numbers. Meanwhile, on the second day of the final round, Mahfuza Akhtar, Joint Secretary of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, visited the Notun Kuri activities. She was accompanied by Muhammad Rokunuddin, Deputy Director General of Finance and Administration of Bangladesh Television and Coordinator of the Notun Kuri Cell, Muhammad Fakhrul Alam, Deputy Director General of Program, and Nurul Azam, Convener of the Dhaka Audition Committee. The vote counting is now underway at Chittagong University for the much-anticipated Central Students' Union CHAKSU and Whole Union elections. After a remarkable 36-year hiatus, this landmark event saw tremendous enthusiasm and energy across the campus. From early morning, students formed long queues to cast their ballots, eager to elect their student leadership after decades. Many voters expressed their excitement and joy at being able to participate in choosing their representatives. Election officials confirmed a transparent process was followed at the polling centers, with photo ID voter lists used to verify the identity of each student before issuing the ballot papers. The CHAKSU election was held under multi-layered security and intense surveillance. Everything except the secret booth was under CCTV camera coverage. Large monitors were set up outside each center, displaying the entire voting process for transparency. With 27,516 eligible voters, the administration deployed nearly 1,500 members of law enforcement to ensure a free and fair poll. Candidates from all panels expressed optimism about their chances, stating they were satisfied with the overall environment of the election. A total of 415 candidates contested for 26 Chaksu posts, while 493 candidates vied for 24 whole union positions. The results of this year's Higher Secondary Certificate, HSC, and equivalent examinations will be published tomorrow, according to a notice signed by Professor Dr. Khondokar Ahsanul Kabir, Chairman of the Dhaka Education Board and President of the Inter-Education Board Coordination Committee. The results will be released simultaneously at 10 a.m. across all general, madrasa and technical education boards. Students will be able to access their results online through the official website. Meanwhile, applications for re-scrutiny of results will be accepted from October 17th to October 23rd. Now, international news. Palestinian group Hamas has handed over the bodies of 4 more Israelis to the Red Cross, bringing the number of released deceased captives to 8. Israel says it will only allow half the agreed number of 8 trucks into Gaza. Israel's Khan public broadcaster reported that Israel's government has decided to reopen the Rafah crossing today, as originally planned under last week's ceasefire agreement. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump calls on Hamas to disarm, warning if they don't disarm, we will disarm them, and it will happen quickly and perhaps violently. Despite an ongoing ceasefire, Israeli forces killed at least 9 people on Tuesday. Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 67,913 Palestinians and wounded 170,134 since October 2023. At least 20 people were burned to death when a passenger bus caught fire in northern India's Rajasthan state, reportedly due to a short circuit. Officials said the bus carrying between 35 and 50 passengers had just begun its journey from Jaisalmer to Jodhpur when flames suddenly erupted. Authorities recovered 19 bodies from the vehicle, while another passenger died on the way to hospital. At least 15 others sustained critical burn injuries and were admitted to a local hospital. The blaze reportedly started about 5 minutes after the bus left Jaisalmer, when smoke began rising from the rear. The driver stopped the vehicle near a military station, but the fire rapidly engulfed the bus. Local officials and military personnel rushed to the scene to conduct rescue operations. The Rajasthan government has appealed to families for help identifying victims, with DNA tests planned where necessary. An elite military unit says it has seized power in Madagascar from President Andry Rajoelina following weeks of youth-led protests in the Indian Ocean island. On Tuesday, captured Chief Colonel Michael Randrianirina said the military would form a government and hold elections within 2 years. He also suspended key democratic institutions like the Electoral Commission. Zanzi protesters will be part of the changes because the movement was created in the streets, so their demands should be respected. Troops and protesters have been celebrating the apparent ousting of President Rajoelina with thousands waving flags in the capital, Antananarivo. Madagascar's constitutional court has named Col Randrianirina as the country's new leader, even though a statement from the president's office said he was still in charge and denounced what it described as an attempted coup defeat. Back to national news. The Army Chiefs Parade for the Recruit Batch 2025 of the Bangladesh Army's East Bengal Regiment was held this morning at the East Bengal Regimental Centre in Chattogram Cantonment. Through this smart passing out parade, the soldiers of the East Bengal Regiment formally joined the Bangladesh Army as new recruits. Lieutenant General Muhammad Faizur Rahman, Quartermaster General of the Army, reviewed the parade and accepted the salute as a chief guest. Faizur Rahman urged the fresh soldiers to acquire skills through modern and up-to-date training to be prepared to face the tough challenges of the 21st century. At the ceremony, the chief guest handed over awards to outstanding recruits, including the best recruit, Muhammad Ashraful. Senior military and civil officials, invited guests and family members of the newly passed out recruits were present on the occasion.